Daumantas, it's great seeing you again. Thanks for taking the time to speak to us again.
Yeah, welcome to Lithuania.
Yes, thank you. We love being here. It's always exciting coming and seeing what's happening in the ecosystem. For those who haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, just briefly tell us who you are and what you do.
Sure. So my name is Daumantas, and I'm co-founder and CEO at TransferGo, and we do digital remittances across the globe.
Last time we spoke, you told us about how TransferGo has been reducing the cost of cross-border transfers and how that's also benefiting people and extending financial services to populations that have not been reached before.
Yeah.
What is it that TransferGo is looking to doing at the moment in terms of strategy, in terms of growth, and in terms of scaling the product portfolio?
Yeah, sure. So, the core of our business is decreasing the cost of remittances, and you may think about tax on remittances.
Right.
Because on average, people send from 5,000 to 6,000 back home, and that money used to be taxed by 7%.
Okay.
By the likes of Western Union and banks and other incumbents. Yes. We've decreased the cost of that by 95%.
Okay,
right?
That's insane.
Because we moved away from cash into a full-on digital way of moving money.
Yeah.
Simply speaking, right? So, but this reality is not evenly distributed.
Okay.
You would think that the world is digital, but it isn't. Right now, globally, only 17% of remittances are digital end-to-end.
Still only
17%, yes.
Wow.
So one pillar of our growth is let's make sure digital becomes mainstream globally.
Okay.
So that's number one priority, and we're very much in growth mode, expanding into Africa, Central Asia, LATAM, and really building a global remittance brand as the number one priority. Number two priority is when the customers trust you, then they want to hold money with you, and they want to not have the need to go to a bank to do anything with their financial services.
Right.
So wallets and cards is one of the key projects that we are launching this year.
Okay.
Finally, I hope.
Exciting.
With a bit of luck, and that will allow the customers not only to move money, but hold money, get paid in, and spend it even more effectively.
Okay. Now, being from the Baltics, from the Nordics, and seeing just how digital and how digital payments are here, what is it that you find are perhaps the main barriers to getting that level of digital adoption in other markets where digital payments has not just taken off in the way that it has in the local market?
So what we're seeing is last mile readiness. So what I mean by that is when you look at banks globally, and we look into banks in Africa and Asia, elsewhere, they are much more legacy than the banks in Europe.
Okay. For
various reasons.
Yes.
Some of them were used to dealing in a high margin cash world, and their balance sheet depends on that.
Yeah.
Some of them, found various niches of operation and made money on other things rather than payments. They made money on other services, right? So I think what we see is that the fragmentation is so much more everywhere else, and there is no easy way to solve it. You just take region by region, market by market, and you introduce an instant option which is up to 95% cheaper, and then ask the client to trust us as a brand.
Right.
Because that's the thing, it's a trust business. So, and it's a grind. There's no quick wins here. You have to grind, you have to build these relationships. But I think the incumbents or the traditional side of the business who choose to innovate and whose innovation for whom are sort of part of the bottom line, they are now coming to us and saying we want to be part of your network. And that's really a change, because we used to be that we have to try to convince the innovators in the traditional space. Now they're coming to us, and I think that's what's accelerating a lot of it.
Absolutely, and this is a very interesting change we've also seen in the market, where previously there was perhaps a little bit of competition and you're stepping into our territory. We're seeing now a convergence where that competition is really turning into a collaboration.
Correct.
And so what do you think, we're here in Lithuania, we see that very collaborative nation of the ecosystem where you have the regulator and the public institutions and the private organizations all working in perfect synchrony to grow the ecosystem. What do you think other countries and other regions can learn from the way and the successful way in which Lithuania has expanded this ecosystem?
Well, as a Lithuanian, I'm very proud of what's happening here, but I think you're being too kind saying that it's perfect. I think we have a long way to go. When it comes to private-public sector, when it comes to regulatory matureness, we're on the right track, but we still have a long way to go.
Yep.
I think what changed is that we're a small market that had to export our services profoundly. And financial services were also close. If you look at Lithuanians who migrate abroad to study, and I'm one of them, they usually go for either sciences or finance.
Okay.
And they are one of the best. So it comes natural. Some of the Lithuanians are running, are taking senior positions in major banks. Like finance is close to what Lithuanians are always good at.
Yeah.
So when technology means finance, I think it's a win-win.
Yeah.
But again, I think it's a good situation that we have right now. Some of these events are spectacular. But we still have a long way to go, I think, in terms of becoming a cornerstone of European financial innovation. Because that's what we have to be, and that's the direction of travel.
Indeed. Now, maybe more of a personal question, because I see that you're very passionate about solving this particular problem. What was it that prompted you to say, this is the problem I want to focus on?
Yeah. So we faced it ourselves. It happened more than 12 years back. We faced it as a business. We faced that as Lithuanian migrants in the UK, as students in the UK. Then we face it as grown-ups in the UK, and then we face it everywhere we travel. Like, the world is borderless, but the financial services really are not.
Well, I guess that's the best way of solving a problem. If it's something that you experience yourself, other people probably having it as well, and I think TransferGo is doing a fantastic job at solving this. Just to close, what's been your key takeaway from the day here at the Fintech Day 2024 in Vilnius?
Key takeaway is that Fintech is mainstream in Lithuania.
Yes.
Because it's packed, and I love that.
Indeed, and I was so happy to hear the president this morning saying Lithuania is a fintech nation. Words that resound so loudly here at Fintech Day, with a maximum capacity, with a room behind us that is completely packed, but there's nowhere to sit. Yeah. And it's really, really inspiring to see what Lithuania has done. Companies like yourselves, congratulations on the great success.
Thank you.